Welcome to the Limitless Entrepreneur Podcast, your weekly dose of strategies and mindset tools to build a business in alignment with your purpose and to get you playing a bigger game. I'm your host, Nicole Lano. Hello and welcome to the Limitless Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Nicole Lano, and we are here with one of our Monday mini episodes again. Welcome. I'm excited to be here and I'm excited to talk to you about this. So these Monday episodes, we try to make them short, sweet, to the point, and something that you can take with you throughout the week. Sometimes that's an action, sometimes it's something to contemplate. Sometimes it's just what I'm feeling. And I feel like when I feel something and I'm moving on through my strategy and authority according to my design, and something's driving me to share something with you, I do it. I don't question it. So one of the things that I just came back from a really great event, Rebecca Fiero put together this beautiful event in Scottsdale, Arizona called the Weekend at the Pitch Club. And she had these amazing speakers there. And one of them is Aisha Marshall. And she didn't actually speak on this. This wasn't her topic, but she mentioned it because this is kind of a big part of her brand. And if you go to her Instagram, she's at Aisha, which, so she's she's an Instagram pioneer. I'm going to see if I can get her on the show actually, but she's on Instagram. Pinned to her to the top of her feed is this talk that she did on something that she calls cocoon season. And this really hit me because sometimes we feel like we should be moving faster, but everything in us is telling us to slow down. Everything in us is telling us to wait. Now, if you have in your human design, if you like what we look at, instead of cocoon season, we kind of look at it, it could be the rest cycle. So if you're a manifesting generator or a manifester, you might be in rest cycle. If you're emotional, like me, you might be just in a part of your wave that is telling you to kind of wait to see, to get clarity on what it is that you want to move on. There are so many things in the chart that can be telling us to wait. And there's so many messages, and we tend to resist them because we want to move fast. We want to see results quickly. And some of us are under the gun where we feel like if we don't move, we're going to miss the boat. So she talked about cocoon season. And what I wanted to bring to this show and kind of put out there for all of you, I wanted to share my experience with it, because as she was talking about it, I feel like I'm coming out of my own cocoon season. I feel like I'm coming out of my rest cycle right now. I have been in one for a little bit. And I wanted to clarify some misconceptions that there can be about when we go into a rest cycle. So if you have a defined ego, you're going to have rest cycles. If you are a manifesting generator, you're going to have a rest cycle, just like a manifester does. Manifestors, you can have a rest cycle. If you have a one line in your profile, there's going to be a little bit of that like cocooning. There's going to be a little bit of that like going inward and being by yourself and squirreling away. If you are two line, there might be that. So there's so much in the chart that says it's not only natural for us to feel that way, but it's beneficial. So the first step is really stopping thinking that your waiting is a waste of time, that this time that nothing is happening, because there is something happening. There's so much happening underneath the surface that's putting the pieces together that you can't consciously do on your own. So it's conserving your energy. It's moving things together. The awareness centers are bringing thoughts, ideas, systems, things together for you. They're making the pieces fall into place. And we can't rush that process. And when we do, we miss the magic. When we do, that's when we launch, we write something, we put something out there, we make a move, and it doesn't go the way that we want. So this is one of those, I'm coming out of that season myself where I have been deep in rest. I've also been deeply nurturing my one line energy because that's so important to me, building foundations for my business. There was a time where I was like, I had to gather information. I had to process things. I had to create products and some back-end systems and some things to get me ready for the next level. And rather than looking at it and wishing it would move faster, I really nurtured that. I really nurtured that. So while my 5 line, I'm a 5-1, while my 5 line wants to go out and tell everybody what I'm experiencing, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, tell them the way, show them how I can fix things, show them how I can universalize this information, show them the new way that I'm creating. The 1 line says, wait, we've got to really nail down this new way. We have to make it great. Now, we don't want to fall into perfectionism. We don't want to fall into inaction out of fear. So that's where the checking in with yourself comes in. It's where you pause and you say, why am I doing this? Where am I? What am I trying to accomplish here? Do I feel like I'm in a rest cycle, or do I feel like I'm in fear? So these are ways that you can kind of get into your body and follow. If you're following your strategy and authority, because this is what happens. People might say, well, I tried following strategy and authority, but I wasn't getting anything. I wasn't getting invitations. I wasn't getting things to respond to. First of all, you're always getting things to respond to. You're just typically, it's not the things that we want. We're looking for something. I didn't get a response that told me to do the thing that I wanted to do, because that's the mind driving it. You have an idea of what you want to accomplish, and you're trying to hack strategy and authority to get into that. And we can do that. We can hack our operating system a bit with some little tips and tricks of ways of accessing our energy. However, but making decisions and truly entering into things correctly, if you're a projector, waiting for that invitation, the right invitation, not just any invitation. That's the art of this. So it's about waiting for the correct ones for you and following even the little ones and trusting that they are leading you somewhere. But when we're not getting those invitations, when we're not getting the responses, when it's not leading us to where we want to go, just trust that the rest is doing something. Trust that the inner work is doing its work on you. Because we're not meant to work all the time. But something is always working on us. So trusting that you might be just in a cocoon season, you just might be in a rest cycle. If you had any of those elements that I mentioned in the episode, if you have any of those elements in your chart, there is rest that's required for you to live in the highest expression of who you are. For you to accomplish the things that are truly meant for you to fulfill your purpose. That's the whole point of this work. So trust, and nothing takes greater. There's 2 things that take great trust: doing really crazy, huge, big leap things and doing nothing, and trusting that both you're going to be held and carried and caught during it. Those are the 2 hardest things. So tune into yourself and ask yourself, are you in one of those cycles right now? And be kind to yourself and really nurture that time. If you are, you won't regret it. It will be the best thing that you do, and nothing will catapult you forward like truly leaning into the rest, truly leaning into it. Okay. So I'll leave you there. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you for listening. Please give us a little snapshot on Instagram. Tag me. I'm at Nicole Lano Official over there. Send me a DM if you loved this episode. I'd love to know what you hear, what you think of it. Remember, you're only limited by the limitations that you accept. And when you stop accepting those limitations, that is when you become limitless, everyone. So go out there and be limitless. I will see you in the next one. If you loved this episode, please leave us a review on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening to this podcast. And if you want to stay in touch with us, we would love to have you as a part of our Facebook community, Practical Manifestors. It's a community for process-driven women looking for clear and actionable steps to embodying a life of wealth and alignment. Join us at Practical Manifestors in Facebook, or go to www.innerceogroup.com.